to another episode of Ask Dr. Zaino Live. Welcome back. If you're watching live from chirothoughtleaders.com/ask-dr-Zaino, we're live every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. and we have a very special guest for you tonight. We'll introduce in just 1 second. Right below the video that you're watching, you're going to see a big orange button that says Get Started! Exclamation point. It's free! Exclamation point. So we'll explain more about what that button is. If you want to check it out, you can. And right below that, you're going to see the chat roll. Please log into the chat roll. Let us know that you can hear us, and let us know where you're listening from. And then you can also ask questions, comments. I'll make sure Dr. Zaino and our guest, special guest, hears and gets all the questions. Dr. Zaino, are you there, my friend?
I'm here. Hey, everybody.
Awesome.
Thanks for coming on. Hey, Thought Leaders. We're here with Roberto, Monaco. So let's have fun tonight. So, you know, one of the best times I could, I would actually say of my life when I do travel and I get to speak, lots of times the best times is when I get to speak at maybe Dr. Fred's or something, and then Roberto's there as well, and we get to meet up. And the best times are when we actually go out to eat, and you get to hear some of the greatest stories you've ever heard in your life, because Roberto's a fabulous storyteller. Amazing, and he just doesn't teach you. It's just amazing. But just to see what he's went through. So I said, it would be fun. Let's take a break of the normal like A plus B plus C routine procedures, and let's just get into let's make it all context and here's some really good stories. You can literally make documentaries and movies out of this. So Roberto's online. So if you know Roberto is my main influenceology coach. He's helped me so much in my life and continues to do so. And just deep down, just all around amazing person. And so we'll get into it. I'll just say we went on live fast because Roberto has a standing desk, and I'll introduce Roberto. And then Roberto was going to go into. He's got a standing desk now. So actually, if you need to get a standing desk, but he's going to go into kind of the whole thing. We work for Anthony Robbins, and we'll go through him there. So. Roberto, first of all, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks so much, buddy. I appreciate that.
Start that story. So
I was gonna start the story and say, hold it. We start there. I was like, okay. Yeah. I was showing my new standing desk. Look at this. Hello, everybody. Right, going down and going up, because the standing desk is so powerful. Because when I was working for Tony from 2002 to 2008, and you used to walk in the corporate office. The whole sales department, the coach sales department, it was like 10 people standing up with headset going at it, like boom, boom, closing people. And I'm like, and then when you walk in a different company, people like this, the computer, and you walk there, man, they pick up the phone, it's done. Like you have so much certainty in your voice, in your energy level, and then you close, then you sit down, relax a little bit, another call, because sometimes, you guys, I'm not preaching the choir here. You guys taught me that. Like, posture is function, right? And you have a bad posture, so you cannot be function properly. So I noticed that I've been telling myself, I'm gonna get a standing desk. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna buy a standing desk, and I'm so much more productive. My coaching calls are more powerful, and now I'm like on fire. I'm like, I know sometimes the computer, the microphone, the screen takes the energy away. But I'm like, boom, I hope you can feel tonight. And we're going to make this call fun and transformational for you. So step number 1, get a standing desk.
Where'd you get it?
I got IKEA.
Ah, nice.
So IKEA, and easy setup. This is nice. And then I bought, I don't know if I can show you guys, but I bought this thing, like very tall. And now... Come on, you said you're gonna have fun, right? So we're gonna have fun. All in. So now, if I'm tired, I'm here, but then I go, boom, let's go. Right? Cairo Thought Leaders, no chair. And
no chair.
If you're wondering, the back here, by the way, the power line Z just gave me. Born in Brazil, made in America. Boom! That's a line. That's it.
All right, so as you can see, if this is the first time you've ever heard Roberto, you're going to get an opportunity to hear even more from him later on. But so let's go back to it. So, Roberto had so many different acts in his life. He did martial arts, right? You did capoeira, right? You did
capoeira,
that.
yeah.
And then you were in Brazil. So let's talk about now. Most of you know that he did work for Anthony Robbins. So you heard that story. But what I think was unique, because I think when you become a chiropractor or you start making a little bit of money, you start to become civilized, meaning that there's a part of you, there's a hunger, there's a fight, there's an uncertainty that is now it's quenched. So yes, you want to do more, but you kind of lost that eye of the tiger. And what Roberto did is, even in chiropractic, I was talking to Tabor. Now Tabor had developed one of the top leading screening programs called the Screener. And the reason why screenings have kind of a nervous feeling to people is because they got to go in front of people and they have to stop them and bring them into the booth and talk to them. But it's so effective. Tabor's done amazing with it. And he really tells you how easy it is to do about it. But I know it's the emotional fear of rejection. What are people going to say? And when you hear Carlos, like the other day, Tabor and I went at a seminar, and the guy's like, I'm about to start my practice. What should I do? Dinners or screenings? We're like, both. And I think like the Mormon church, they send out to be a Mormon, you got to go out for 2 years on a mission and go door to door. And it's like, but what that person becomes from 2 years of being put in that environment, you can never take away from them. It's something that you can't learn here. It has to be through an experience. Now, what Roberto did back in the day, because now Anthony Robbins is different, what they do, and they call people, but Roberto talk about, so now you're hired by Anthony Robbins. You proved that you weren't the best speaker, but the best influencer.
Yep.
You're like, okay, now you're on board. Now you're part of so was it like a Navy SEAL team?
Yeah, so here's what's cool.
Yeah.
So we had there's 6 people traveling around, and for the most part were guys, and we did have some girls in the team. And every 4 months they move us around. So imagine I sold everything and I had 7 boxes. That's it. I put everything in storage. So 4 months in Orlando, they ship us there. You rent a car, rent an apartment, and now you wake up on Monday, say, let's go. And you have 4 months to sell, a lot of tickets. Now, what happens is we call sales cycles. In the beginning, you didn't have presentations. Imagine like right now, we don't have talks. So the most important thing that I can tell you, okay, is that you gotta be so sold in your message that you say every single day that you're gonna get speaking gigs. So what I used to do, I put my suit, dress up, and I go say, today I'm gonna go in this area. So I got a zip code. This is old school. We didn't, and I had like Thomas Guide. And I don't know if you guys remember Thomas Guide. We didn't have an internet, like what wasn't. And the only thing we had when MapQuest came up, everybody we didn't have cell phones like maps. We didn't have that. And I used to print every company in that zip code, real estate offices. Like for example, if you're a chiropractor, here's a tip: real estate offices, they have a meeting every week. Car dealers, they have a meeting every week. Multi-level companies, they have a meeting every Saturday. Mortgage companies, for the most part, they have a monthly meeting. So we have all these companies already, any direct sales, door-to-door sales, they have sales meetings because so much, they're looking for speakers. Now, the challenge is that the Headspace, we don't think that they should stop what they're doing to have us in. And because you don't have the confidence to say, look, I'm going to go show up, I'm going to speak for 20 minutes, 15, 30 minutes, I'm going to move people, it's going to be so powerful that you deserve to stop everything. We don't have the certainty. And because we don't have the certainty, we show up with that feeling of like almost inferior or begging, or right? So if you know you're going to transform, if you're not going to transform a group, how you communicate that? So for me, I have a list. I print up at that time, right? Old school, 1-page bio. And I used to door knock car dealers. I mean, just door knock, walking in, door knock. Hey, what is the manager? Talk to the manager. Who are you? Roberto Robbins, who's the manager? And like start playing around, or you throw a joke on or not to break rapport. You're just walking in. Now, and sometimes you couldn't talk to the manager, right? Because the manager actually was in a meeting. But then I'll say, okay, what's the manager's name? I want to leave this. I leave a card, my brochure. I always make sure I left the place with their business card and then a phone call. And when you do this over and over and over and over, you build up a muscle. And the best story I can tell you about this is this. And Dr. Tabor, you guys are going to enjoy this. I remember one time I was in Orlando, and then Tony had the event, and they shipped us to Chicago, and it was February. Now, how is February in Chicago? Hot or cold?
Oh, freezing.
Right. Now, I'm Brazilian, barely seen snow. So I'm in Orlando with the shorts, like you, like shorts and t-shirts. I'm going to Chicago. So we fly to Chicago, snowstorm. And I'm like, the first time I'm like, man, this is cold, February. I go rent my car, go to my apartment. And then the Monday, when you start the sales cycle, I remember it was like this huge snowstorm. Now, what I did, put my suit, print my companies, and start going door knocking during the snowstorm. And I really remember at one point, I stopped my car and I walk maybe, I don't know, 50 meters and go to the state office. And when she opened the door, and I was all covered in snow, like literally covered. And the manager said, "What are you doing here?" Right? And I'm like, "Well, I'm here to set up a workshop for your team." And she goes, "Don't you know that in a snowstorm, people don't walk in, they just call, or most people don't work?" I say, "No, I didn't have that excuse, right? I didn't have it." And because I didn't have the excuse, like during this snowstorm, I shouldn't go walking in, or I didn't have it, I end up setting up 3 times more meetings or presentations, and obviously number one in sales. So the whole idea is that, and Dr. Table can talk about that, in his screening, by the way, I'm not a screener, don't ask me questions, but I'm assuming that you have the technique, the 30-40%, what to ask, how to touch people, and then you have the mindset of doing it. Is that correct, Dr. Table? Yes or no?
Absolutely, man. You just got to be there. That's it. That's the key. You just have to be there. You know what I mean? If you're not there, just like you're saying, you're walking there, nobody else was there with you. Yeah. If you're not there, you won't get the opportunity.
So it's so much of a mindset. And because I had this mindset of hunger, like, and I could literally look at someone's eyes and say, look, I'm going to come here, and it's worth your time to email all your team for 45 minutes and stop what you're doing, because I'm going to deliver a world-class training. Right? So, and you got to have that on you. And if you don't have that on you, it's not like people ask me, what's the trick of setup talks? There's no trick, man. You got to have that. You got to feel that. So people are like, man, this guy's serious. I was talking to a doctor yesterday. True story. Yesterday, he goes, my assistant made 10 calls and got rejected 10 times, right? Because you have these people, usually the system secretary, right, screen the calls. And I told him, look, the people who screen the calls, I guarantee someone's overweight, taking pills, taking drugs, struggling. They just don't know. You just have to change your influencer. We change your approach. If you're a doctor listening to me right now, I want you to be hungry. I want you to look your office, right, in a map, and you make a circle like this, whatever, 100 miles or 75 miles, right? And you go, I'm going to speak in every single spot. It's not about can I speak, it's just when. And you don't stop. Email, phone call, direct marketing, come up like a special report. We don't stop until you get in. And I feel like most of us, we don't have that certainty. We just don't. And we see someone successful in speaking, like, man, I wanna skip that phase, right? But dude, in speaking doesn't work like that. There's a lot of hustle.
Hey, Roberto.
Am I speaking too much here?
No, you're doing good, Roberto. So I mean, and that's the key. I think we're perfectly where I wanted to get us to. It's because, you're right. In our areas, there's in the one zip code, there's hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of businesses.
Yeah.
And in those businesses, everybody has a job in those businesses. So so it's the best type of people. But it's like, and people are like, well, how do I set up talks? That's what I'm talking about. So when you went, like, there was no, like, Roberto didn't have a list. He made the list. Like, they didn't say, here, Roberto, here's the city. They just said, here's the city you're going to. And he had to become resourceful to take response. He made the list. He had to go knock on the door to set up the talk, to do everything he had to do. So what he's doing is what every Caro would love to do. They would love to be able to do. That's why I wanted to talk about this, because it's like, that is what Caros wish they could do. And you did it. And not only did he set up a talk, but you know how we do a doctor's report, but he wound up closing
Yeah.
Tens of thousands of dollars.
So here's the thing that I want to make sure I want to provide a ton of value for today. Okay, if you're listening to me right now, the first thing that you gotta do. By the way, Z, if I'm going into too much how-to content, stop me here. Right? Stop. So the number one is this: I want to make sure you have you gotta have a database of prospective speaking gigs, and let me tell you why. Because what happens right now, you have a CA calling your leads. Let's say the CA leaves, and then you bring another CA. Then you're gonna have you don't know how many calls that person received. You don't know who's the contact manager. So a customer relationship management, a CRM, is a place where not only you have all the contacts, but you have activities. I call Mary Jane today. She's on vacation. Call back in 2 weeks. Because if you're prospecting 10, 15 companies a day, in a month you're calling 400 companies. It's impossible to manage with a spreadsheet. You gotta have it. So there's a free CRM called Zoho, Z-O-H-O. I get it.
Hold on, Roberto. Your accent makes it impossible. So
Zoho.
Z-O.
No. My accent makes charming. Right? Z-O-H-O. Zoho.
Okay, right? Gotcha.
Now, if you want to pay for one, you can use Salesforce.com. You can have something fancy. Okay, number one. And then you say you start importing the leads. Number two, step number two, you want to have some type of speaking material. You can start with a flyer. That's the minimum, right? Your picture, your topics, your bio, contact information, some speaking testimonials. Now, if you want to like really develop something, and if you have the resources, then I would come up quickly a speaker's website. And the speaker's website, what I'll do, I'll be like the doctor of wellness, your city or something separate. And all the speaker website is a little video of you speaking straight into the HR person or straight into the business owner. Right? Say, look, as a business owner, I know that it takes our HR person, that's a big responsibility to bring speakers into a company, right? Because you don't want to waste your time. I don't take that responsibility lightly. That's why I developed this page here, so you can learn about our services. Because one thing I know, right here in Houston, other managers are calling us and telling us that people experience 3 problems. Number one, see how I go in the problem. Their teams are struggling with the diseases. Number 2, they're missing work. And number 3, now we have something called presenteeism, which means people working but they're not effective. That's why I developed a series of workshops right here for you. All right, quick video. And then in the bottom, you have your topics: stress, peak performance, nutrition, ergonomics, and takeaways, a little 3 or 4 bullet points per talk. And then you have a ton of testimonials. All right? Like speaking testimonials, everything that generates credibility. So you gotta have that. And the reason you gotta have that is because when you call a company or you leave a voicemail, they're gonna be like, dude, send me some information. At that time, I didn't have a speaker website. I had one flyer. Follow me so far or no?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We're there.
So then you have your flyer, you have a database, you have your contacts, your flyer. Then you start making the calls. One of the scripts that I like to use, I always like to lead with a pain. So when you call someone, you say, look, the reason I'm calling Mr. Jones, you identify yourself, I am with wellness, breakthrough wellness, right? The reason I'm calling you is because we are talking to other blank. Blank is the title. So if I'm talking with an HR person, I would say something like, look, the reason I'm calling is because I'm talking to other HR professionals, and they are telling us that pain number 1, pain number 2, pain number 3. Right? So I go 1, 2, and 3. So I want you guys to stop and think what kind of pains that corporate America has right now. So you can say, look, the reason I've been talking to a lot of HR people right now is because, number 1, they're telling that their team is struggling with diseases like diabetes or cancer, heart disease. The second challenge they're telling us is that they're missing work, absenteeism, and the third one is called presenteeism. Now, I don't know if you experience this challenge in your company or not, but the reason I'm calling you is to introduce myself. Now, let me pause here. When you open up a script like that, like a short 30 seconds with pain, automatically the leader of the company or HR person goes, he or she just described me. Does that make sense? Because so let's pause. What are in the realm of health and wellness, what are the top 3 things they experience? So that's why I like that script. And this script is powerful because just open up a conversation. And then from that, it's going to be like, so why are you calling? What's in it for me? How much you charge? Why are you selling? And then you want to develop a conversation with the person. But me personally, if I were a chiropractor, step number 1, you gotta, most chiros don't have that. You gotta have a little database of speaking opportunities. 2, you gotta have some type of speaking material. And number 3, you start going after the marketplace. Not the mindset is, can I speak? It's just when.
No, it's great, man.
Love it.
You got too quiet now, Z. You got too quiet.
No, I didn't know because I know you drink water when you look at your notes sometimes, right?
Yeah.
You taught me that. And I don't know if you were.
It's a dramatic pause.
I thought
No, I didn't. I know you're too quiet, Mike. Am I speaking to?
I literally thought the same thing today, right? Like, oh, he's gonna come back with something strong.
No, so the idea, I'll tell you, and you have to create this culture now. Obviously, the best way is start with your patients, and I identify every single patient that you have. They fall into these categories: business owner, work for a company, non-profit, government, retired, church. That's it. No more. So then what you want to do in your CRM, the place where you make the contacts for speaking, you say, who's coming today? Well, we have 4 or 5 patients coming today, so we're going to have a conversation. Right? So, Z, I'm going to run the script on you, pretending you're a business owner, okay?
Right.
All right. So Z, how's it going, man? How's working at Abundant Chiropractic? Man, this guy's good?
Oh, it's perfect, yes.
Yeah, you guys crushing it?
Every day, every way.
I love it. Now, as a successful entrepreneur, I believe that you go to events, workshops, or mastermind groups, or Chamber of Commerce. Do you belong to any mastermind groups or events that you go to?
Yes, I do go to certain events and seminars.
Which one do you go?
Influenceology, influence from the front.
Okay, that's a good one. What else do you go?
Yes. I go to UAC.
Okay, cool. UAC, what is that?
Oh, that's with Dr. Jim Tempos.
Okay, cool.
Hello?
Can I ask a quick favor from you, Dr. Z?
Yeah, what's up?
So this year, I want to help 10,000 patients in this area here to become super extremely healthy. Do you mind introducing me to the person in charge of USC? So maybe I can go and speak for them. Do you know who the person is?
Yeah, absolutely.
Boom. So now I have a lead. Right? I could add by the way, I spoke for USC before, but the idea is this. I could ask, is always like this. When they work for a company, they have sales meetings, leadership events. Entrepreneurs, not all, most events go to some type of event. Government, they have meetings. So you select and you really go, hey man, how long have you been working in a company? 10 years. Oh, interesting. Do you guys have leadership events, sales meetings, staffs? Of course we do. Lunch and lunch, cool. Do you know if they have speakers there all day long? Can I ask a quick favor? Yes. This year I want to make sure Houston is the healthiest city. It's okay. Do you know who the person in charge of organized events? Because I would love to be considered as a speaker. Yeah, I know Mary Jane. Okay, cool. Is it possible that if Carla here or my friend here, my assistant, send an email, can you forward the email to them introducing me and CC me? I'll take from there. And what I'm looking for here is my patient go or my client go, hey, Roberto is awesome. I saw him speak before. connect and CC me. I'll take from there. And I'm telling you, church, nonprofits, I mean, speak opportunities are everywhere. I mean, just tomorrow, try this tomorrow. Who is coming to see? Say, identify where this person works, church, and you go. It's hard to have this conversation with what you're adjusting, but have your staff have a conversation. This is right there. The problem is that we gotta have this deep belief that we can serve people at the highest level. So that's the idea.
That was perfect. Because see, and that's what it is. It all comes down to that you got to see the abundance of it. It's everywhere. You just got to be able to have a great way of breaking the ice. So you're right. There's not a one-liner there. You're just starting a conversation, and not seeing what you could get, but you're looking to serve, and give. So it's like you give, and because what's the doctor really doing? It's like you're giving and giving, and you're gonna give a great message, and then you're gonna literally give away your first exam pretty much with your reduced fee. So you're giving the whole entire time, but you can't go in there going, I'm trying to sell. Roberto's mind is like, I'm going to speak to anywhere, because he had a purpose and a passion, and he knew that people would benefit from this. And so now take it here just in closing. So now, Roberto, when you would go in, you would speak, and you had your talks, and you would speak. And what did they ask you? So what are you going to sell? Like, how did you do that? When you say, listen, I'm going to come in, give this powerful presentation. So did they know you were selling the tickets?
Okay, so basically, some people ask, so what are you gonna sell? Say, look, I'm not selling anything. My goal here is to create a transformational training for you, and in the end, I'll let your team know that if Tony Robbins is coming to town, and then if they want to purchase tickets, they can. If not, no big deal. Now, let me pause here. There's like a mislinking. That, I mean, do you have more time here?
Yeah, go.
That if you get 100 Kairos who are speaking, unless they've been training by us, they're not doing it, and they're missing the boat, right? And I don't want to sound like arrogant, but from at least the 100 Kairos that we coach, nobody's doing it. Something called boss talk. Once your assistant, your CA, set up the talk, you want to be able to have a 10 to 15-minute conversation with the boss and the leader of the company. And why is that important? Let me ask you this. Let's say you have a presentation coming up on a company next Wednesday, okay? Or next Friday, whatever. If Bill Gates, instead of you, if Bill Gates were to speak in the same slot, the same time, instead of you, do you think that company, that leader, would make a huge deal about it? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Yes or no? Yes, right? Yes. And so what is the difference between you or Bill Gates? Just one. Value. So when you set up the talk, then you want to schedule, especially if you have your CA setting up the talk, your assist, your marketing person, to say, look, Dr. Zaino, Dr. Table wants to customize this talk presentation to your team. And what we need is 10 minutes over the phone to make sure he can customize a message. Like, how does Tuesday 10 o'clock? So you literally, as the doctor, right, you want to set up a 10-minute in your calendar, whatever, to talk to these people. The majority of doctors, when they have a talk, they go blind. Is a disaster. Why? Because my goal in this conversation, I call the boss talk. My goal is to make that person, the HR person, the leader, to go, look, stop everything, and we have a world-class communicator doctor come here. Because otherwise, they're going to think like the guy's coming here, bring some lunch, who wants to go? Right? And you won't be able to create this value without talking to the person you want. So after, from 2000 to 2008, I was doing 400 talks a year. So times 6. Here's what I was saying. The money is made on the boss talk. Because comes a point, your talk is really good, right? Comes a point you can close, like, man, it's pretty good. Yeah, some people can close 90%, some 70%, but the money is made on what? On the boss talk. And the boss talk is not like me against the boss. We align and be like, Mr. Jones, how you and I can transform the health organization together. It's a whole script that I'm not getting into it, right? It's a 15-minute conversation. But you gotta have this, because now the boss pick up the phone and say, you know what? I'm gonna look. There's a speaker come here. I think let's make this meeting mandatory, everybody. And it's really hard for someone, for them, like put their name on the line if you haven't built up enough value. Does that make sense or not?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's part of influencing, because that boss is an influencer of the team.
Yeah, he's the strongest. He is the closest. He is the strongest person in the room.
Right.
And so what I found in my career since 2002, that after you develop some really awesome speaking skills and say, man, I can go in, I can rock it. Being able to set up the talk, and you want to build up the talk as partnership with you and the person really gets it, and that this is gold. Now, some companies who are bigger companies, I would say go boss talk live, go do face-to-face in a meeting. It's worth it, for sure. Because what happens is we have to stop seeing just a one talk, one close as like, man, a big company can generate like, I don't know, dozens of talks. And it's hard for them to understand what we do if we have the mindset of like, man, I'm get out, close it for some appointments. So that's what boss talk does.
Awesome. All right, that's awesome, man. Well, listen, if you're watching this right now, make sure you like it, you subscribe. Tabor's gonna go in a little bit more. Share this as well. There was so much great, valuable information in this. I mean, hopefully you took tons of notes. Watch this over and over again. And so, Roberto or Tabor, I think even Roberto has a special gift for anybody. Again, it's a gift. So why don't you take that over and we'll close.
Yeah, absolutely. Roberto, if you want to talk about what they get when they click the button below this video.
Okay, so basically, this is one of my newest courses I developed. It's called the 10 Beliefs of the Master Influencer. And what happens is that I identify, as you know, in speaking, like just like chiropractic, and Dr. Z is big into that your thinking, how you think, your belief system determines how you behave, what you do. So I identify 10 beliefs of the master influencers. So I record basically 10 videos. Check this out. 10 videos, one video per belief. And what I did, I record 10 more videos. So it's 20 videos, a full-blown course, one video per belief, teaching you how to what? Apply the beliefs, how to apply. So the course is stacked, brand new. I record, I believe, December or November last year. It's awesome. And it's my gift to you for being a chiropractic leader. So you don't have to pay. Just go in. There's a link there. Just register. It's my gift to you for joining us.
Thanks so much, Roberto.
Very cool. Thank you, Roberto, for doing that. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for being on the show tonight. Again, right below this video, big orange link. Get it while it's there because it won't be there forever. Click, enter your name and email, and then just absolutely free. Usually we're trying to close with telling you there's some kind of price tag or something. This is absolutely free to do, and I'm going to start the replay tomorrow. What's that?
No, there's 20 videos. I'm telling you, it's stacked. You guys will love it.
20 videos.
Anything
awesome.
from mindset to closing to storytelling. I mean, this is insane. So,
wow.
Price? Yes, it's priceless. But
yeah. I don't have to say anything else. The 20 videos from Roberto, free. That's it. Everybody run. All right. Thanks for being on the show tonight, and we'll see you guys next week.